Hello there. Now, very simple. This is just simple demonstration on how to wash some dishes and clean things up. That way you can have all your dishes nice and clean and be able to handle all the matters. Now, first thing, both my sinks are empty. I rinsed them out, made sure there's no excessive debris in any of them, because that will just make the cleaning job that much harder. Choose one sink, since this one has a trash compactor, garbage disposal. This one I put in the stopper, and you get your water nice and hot. Begin putting in water to your sink. Let this fill up. It's going to take a few seconds here to start filling up. And once it's beginning to get there, now I use Dawn. You can use whatever you want. Put in a little bit of that and let that go to fill up the sink. Once you've done that, now there are various items you need to start washing. And there's various tools to use to clean an item. First item I'm going to use is my cup. Simple cup. All I do is fill it up with water, or drink liquids from it. Every now and then it needs to be washed. Run in the nice hot soapy water. Now this tool right here is just a scrub pad. Very basic, non-abrasive one. Run it inside the cup. Clean out the cup. When you're done, turn on your rinsing water, rinse it off, set in your drying rack. Take the top of this cup, run it in again, scrub it off with this scrub pad, same as you did the actual cup itself, and rinse it off again. Now, the difference is periodically with this sort of cup, because it has this gasket in it, you need to peel this out. If you don't peel this out, this will develop mold. Place that in the drying rack. Place the gasket in the drying rack as well. Also has a straw. Straw is a lot easier to clean. Just run water through it after you've put it through hot soapy water, and then set it in the drying rack. Next item is a storage container. Looks a lot like the cup. Treat it like the cup. Rinse off all your parts, like such. Do them once again. Scrub it off, and it's all ready to go. Now let's move up to the next difficulty. Very simple. Plate that I've eaten on. Instead of using the scrub pad, because that's very low abrasive, we're going to move up to the regular day sponge, which this is nothing fancy. I bought this on clearance. But it's just a slight bit more abrasive than that scrubber is. And you just hit all the surfaces. Go all the way around it, both front and back. Rinse it all off. That goes into the same drying rack as everything else. Next item going to take is this little device. Hold your utensils while you're cooking so that way they don't mess up your oven area. Take this, set that into the water. It's a little bit more abrasive than the other ones are. So for this one, Scotch-Brite pad. Very simple. Scrub it all down. Rinse all off. Make sure every bit of debris is off of it. Then you set that in the drying rack as well to dry off. Now we take utensils. Each one of these probably can just be rinsed off with your regular scrub pad. Rinse them off. Put them into your sink. Make sure that you get all the debris. If you don't, turn it back around, put it back through. Set it down. Serving spatula, used for flipping my food as I was cooking. This one you're going to want to move up at least to the sponge on it. Sometimes depending on what you cook with it. Specifically if you do like eggs with cheese, you're going to need more abrasive. Once that's done, that goes in the same area. Now, we have a wire whisk here. This one I haven't actually used today, but I figured it'd be nice to show. It's got many different parts that need to be cleaned. So you take it and actually whisk the water. That will remove a lot of the debris from it. If it is needing it, you take your scrubber, scrub it over, and specifically a Scotch-Brite pad can fit in between all those little grooves that it has. And then you set that into your drying rack as well. Now, knives. Okay, this is where things get a little bit different. You take our knife, you hold it while you put it into the water, get it wet. Always, when you're cleaning it, clean away from your body, because knives are sharp and they can cut you. This knife is 22 years old, and I still know it can butcher me if I mess up. Rinse that one off. When you're done rinsing off your knife, though, have a towel ready. Wipe off said knife. And take it very gently away from you with the blade again. Put the knife away. Knives should never be left out in any kitchen scenario. Here's another little knife that I've used for various purposes. Do the same process, repeat. Make sure that you do not put the blade near you. Blade is very easy to cut. Cuts are not good. And when washing dishes, if you cut yourself, you're most likely going to have to drain out your water and refresh it because it's most likely going to be have blood in it. And blood can lead to all sorts of various viruses. Now, here's the top of a pot. One of my pots here. Now, depending on what item you use will determine what you need to use to clean the item. This one here is stainless steel, so I can get away using basically anything to clean it. If you have just Teflon, though, you do not want to go past this step. Now, because this isn't majorly dirty, I'm only going to use this as if it was a Teflon. And you want to take it, run it very carefully in all the grooves. Not coarsely. Be gentle when you're doing this. All you're trying to do is remove any debris that's on it and make sure that there's nothing left that's going to keep debris there and pathogens. Once you've got it that far, rinse that off as well. Unlike the other dishes I'm going to show you, this one will go into the drying rack in the same place that the plate went. Now, cutting board. This is the most awkward item here to clean because it is actually bigger than the sink. So that's where you take advantage of the fact that it's got water in here, and you take it, wipe the item off on both sides. Once you've done both sides, flip it around so that you now are showing it the other way, dip it in, and finish up the part that wasn't hit initially. Since I haven't been chopping anything today, it's an easy clean on this one, but there are days this is my dirtiest item that I wash every day when I'm chopping a lot. Once that's done, make sure that goes into the same holder as the rest of your dishes. And now I'm beginning to get a little bit of space filled up on my drying rack, so now it's beginning to get a little bit messy. Okay, now we're on to the harder items. Here's a pan. This pan I made mashed potatoes in. So it's dirty from the mashed potatoes, it's got the debris still in it for the most part. Only thing is I scooped out all the extra so that way I could eat that later on. You dip it in the water. Get it soaking in the water for a little bit. Now, once again, this is stainless steel that I'm working with. So this here is a copper scrub pad. There's copper ones, there's stainless ones. They both work well. I just chose this one because this is what I have on hand right now. Let the scrubber do the work. Don't be trying to force it through yourself. When you're trying to force it through, that's an easy way to hurt yourself. Flip it around. Do the back side. Always important. Because any item that has any sort of grease and oil into it will get the grease and oil all over it. Now, once you're done, as I said before, rinse off the items just like everything else. And put it away. Put it in the same drying rack. Now, I've got most everything done here. There's one dish left to clean. This here. I had made fish in this earlier today. Made it, ate it, tastes wonderful, but it left a mess here. If you see, there's oil still in the pan. When doing something like this, do a little pre-rinse before you even start cleaning it. All that did is that removed a lot of that oil, and now it's a little bit easier to work with when I stick into the pan. It's in the water now. Let that water soak up here. And start scrubbing. Take this pan out, rinse it off. Go back, hit it again, because you want to make sure that you got everything. And I will note you, stainless steel pans can be quite a mess. They can pick a lot of stuff up depending on the heat, and they can not want to get rid of it. Once that's done, you put that in the drying rack. Now, because I'm recording this on my cell phone, I have to now dry off my hands before I start touching and showing more. But now, everything is sitting here nice and ready to dry. And it's just going to air dry, and you let it air dry. It may take an hour or two, but air drying is the most effective way to do it. It is the cleanest, it is the neatest. If you need, you can also use dishwasher for this final step here if you're really worried about it being sanitized. I'm not. I think it looks pretty good. And also I'm the only one who's eating out of these, so I know if everything's to this state, there will not be any problems with it. Now, thank you for coming, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful time washing your dishes.